Hello and welcome to Fortified City TV Roundtable. And today is just another wonderful time of discussion. And we want to say happy 26 to all of you out there, all the Liberians that are celebrating independence today. We say happy 26. And in the Liberian way, my 26 on you, oh, my 26.
That's right.
I want to say welcome to our panelists. And well, Mr. Tour, my 26 on you. Solomon, my 26 on
No
you.
problem.
And the other people that come in, they will give my 26. So, what's going on for the
That's right.
celebration today? I will start with Mr. Tour. What's going on?
Well, here out here in Trenton, there's a great parade going on, and Liberia came out enthusiastically to march through the principal street, and there's great gathering as usual, and people are jubilant. People are happy to be from Liberia, and they are showing their appreciation and their association with the motherland. So that's what is going on in New Jersey at this time. A lot of activity, barbecue,
Mm,
and mouth can say oh.
I know. What? The celebration, Liberians, they can go all out in celebrating, So I know it's just
That's right.
wonderful today all over the place. All the different states and all the different Liberian teachers, just name it. For those of you that are cooking
Yes,
fufu or domo, you'll try to send some on the side, man, because, I want to solo. Yeah, yeah, I want to solo some of that, 26 fufu. And
that's
Solomon,
right.
welcome. What's going on your end?
As usual, there are a lot of games. People are jubilating, happy, 177 years. And so, yes, a lot of merrymaking. And
Hmm.
so we bless God for the day, and we've been watching.
We're sorry. Well, we'll get back to Solomon when he comes in. But happy
Hmm.
26th, and Liberian man can say my 26th on you. So today is it's just a special day, and we are reaching out there to wish you happy 26th, and to also tell you to enjoy yourself. It's not easy
That's right.
for a nation to be independent, and when you are independent, to be in peace is another thing. But we are glad
Hmm.
we are not running all over the place. Liberians are not running all over the place. There's no gunshots,
That's
and
right. Hmm.
people are in peace. You can walk around your
Yes,
home. You can go out when you want to. So it's a good thing that we have peace. We are enjoying. Though there are things that we will want to see and we have not seen yet, but we have peace. And where there's life, there is hope. So we are thankful to God this day, for the peace we enjoy, and thank God for life, the life we have. Solomon,
that's great.
Yes, you hear me? I
yeah, I
tried
can hear
to
you.
get my video cam. Sorry, it was a local call coming.
Yeah.
As soon as the call, everything can go off. So I'm very, very sorry. So as I was saying, yes, massive jubilation here. The people are playing the local Liberia traditional songs, and if there are various kinds of syndicates. You have those
Mm-hmm.
that are playing Scrabble and chess, checker, Ludo. So it's just a fun, man. Just a fun out here. But for me, I was there and I will join it later. But thank you for
Mm-hmm.
having me.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Today we are celebrating 177 years old. This is
Hmm.
huge. This is
Big.
huge. Yeah. But the question that I want to ask here today is, what's the way forward? We have been we're celebrating independence, and we see our brothers and sisters, our neighbors all around us. People are developing within the west, the western region, and comparing to other nations, in the west coast of Africa, we're not even close. So what's the way forward? What can we do? How can we help? This morning I posted a video and I was talking about, I was praying for Liberia. Actually, it's my prayer for Liberia. Most of the time we want for other, for somebody other than ourselves to do the fixing. And we say, well, yeah, the people need to do this, the people need to do that. Well, what about yourself? If you are listening to this broadcast today, moving forward is all about us moving forward. So for Liberia to move forward, it's not that person, is everyone's business. So we are looking at the way, how can we move forward? Will the country move forward by itself? Definitely not. But together, putting our resources together, embracing the challenges we have, working together, I think we can make this happen. So what's the way forward is my question. So we want to start with Mr. Tour. What's the way forward for Liberia? What do you think? How can we move forward?
Yeah, the way forward for Liberia is a long shot, but the greatest resources for every nation is the people of that nation. So Liberia will be as the people of Liberia is in the current dispensation. Recently, not that recent past, 2021, I was in Liberia and I saw a rejuvenated people. A people that want to do good. Certain scenery that want accountability. Citizens that want to know what is happening in government. So we are on a long path trajectory, and the people are crying for good governance, and the people are looking for answers. What I'm trying to say is that the people of Liberia are not sitting idle. They are very patient. They are very resilient. And they want something substantial to begin to happen in their country. But the current dispensation of leadership that has governed Liberia over the last 20 years have not done the nation a good service. And that's what prolonged the nation recovery from about 20 to 30 plus years of civil crisis that started in 1989 up to now. So Liberians are awakening. So the way forward is depending on how well Liberians can organize themselves and be part of their government. That is what's going to determine how far we are going to be. The state where we are now and to become a developed nation that all Liberia want, with electricity, with better road network, with better housing, and with better social amenity. So that distance from now there, it determines how Liberians can organize themselves with positive energy. So I will rest on this one for now.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Uh, Solomon, we are talking about the way for 7 years. If you look, the development is only concentrated in Monrovia, majority. So we are looking at the way forward. How can we move forward? We are talking about every sector in Liberia. How can we move this nation forward?
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Um, are you hearing me? Okay.
We can hear
Yes.
you.
So, Liberia is a country that have been plagued with a lot of uncertainties as it relates to the livelihood of the people. If you ever have chance to read the book written by Samuel Jackson, one of Liberia's founders, economists, talk about rich country, poor people. Uh, One of the way forward is the Constitution first. It's the first and foremost because there are some provisions within the Constitution. It's not in the interest of the people. You cannot have a country that is rich in resources and the livelihood of the people is very, very, very terrible. You cannot have people living in opulence. 5% of the population lives in opulence, while the other 95% live in abject poverty below the poverty line. I was talking to a group of some Liberians the other day that if Liberians in the diaspora can unite and come together and help foster government effort in the public sector, that will be able to contribute and serve as a means of employment for the ordinary Liberian. Mind you, the government of Liberia is the largest employer. So everybody, one way or the other, is working for government. And how much they those are working in government, CSA, the civil servants, how much are they making? We don't have a lot of concessions. We don't have a lot of companies in Liberia. But again, this is not today's problem. From the day our country came together, the day we were being formulated, all the past leaders have failed us. They have failed us bigly. And the way forward first is to amend our constitution and able to help in the public sectors, where we'll be able to train and groom people in ICT, people in the agricultural sector, people also that will be found in the mineral area. Like man, we have a lot of minerals. But how many people are trained in those areas to be able to contribute to the quota of our country? So one of the way forward first is to amend our constitution, discuss it so that our leaders shall be put in check, that those clauses that give immunity to some of the leaders, especially the president, they themselves shall be put in check. And then we should encourage each and every one of us to sell our country on the international level so that we can be able to attract investors to our country so that we can move forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Solomon. Mr. To, one of the things Solomon said was that it is necessary that we reform, have a constitutional reform. Do you agree with him, and why?
You said?
For us to move forward, for the country to move forward, he also pointed out that there are clauses in the constitution that needs reform. Do you agree, and why do you agree with him?
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with him. And that's one of the reasons I pay attention to you when we discussing because you are one anticipation. You are one of the first Liberian that has passion for the Constitution of Liberia more than I do because
Oh,
We lost him.
we lost. Yeah, he's going to come back, but we're going to continue our discussion. You know, we are looking at all the areas that needs, that needs to be touched, to be upgraded, to be a society standard. What will you say about uh, the agricultural sector? Because that was one of the president's, the things on here is gender. We talk about agriculture, we talk about healthcare. But let's start with agriculture. How can we be a great nation? Because a nation that is able to feed itself is a great nation. How can we do that? Instead of depending on, the importation of the stable food that we use, instead of depending on all the things that we import, what's the best way forward when it comes to agriculture?
Thank you very much. So first of all, every year the University of Liberia put out not not less than 100 students in the field of agriculture. So we have a lot of people coming out that have been taught and trained in the field, in the sector of agriculture. But what is lacking in our country is that the government, if you look at the budget of agriculture, is so limited in a sense that we feel that the government is not even serious. One of their acronyms in their agenda of arrest, A, is stand for agriculture, and we know the president has the background of agriculture. So it is not about it is about mechanizing farming, mechanizing agriculture. You understand? Look at Taiwan. Taiwan, a very little country with some number of population. Taiwan can feed yourself. Thailand, Malaysia. You understand? So the way forward is that the government of the day, Honorable President Joseph Yuma Bwaka, his arrest agenda, he needs to focus on agriculture. Look at $500,000 being spent on the July 26th celebration. I know we will come to that. But if you go to the sector, you see a lot of our farmers today, they have their crops in the lee walls. Roads are not accessible for them to bring their crops to town. These people are using cutlasses. We are still in the old stone age. People are using cutlasses to go and cultivate their farms. Government needs to bring, we want to applaud the government for bringing the 185 F moving equipment again, but we need more machineries that we're able to enable mechanizing farming so that agriculture can be a pivotal point in Liberia. To end on this, Liberia is a big nation, but we are small in population. We can feed ourselves. If only the government prioritize, it's about prioritize. Now, one of the American president, I'm yet to call his name. He said, show me your budget, and I will tell you what are your priorities. Right? If you look at the budget of Liberia now, this fiscal year budget, they're not ready for agriculture. So the government itself is supposed to show seriousness so that at least our people can sleep and be able to feed themselves. How can we be importing largely, grossly, our staple food? It's very sad. Thank you.
Mr. Tu, you can complete your thoughts, and then we're talking about
yes,
agriculture as a way of, moving the nation forward.
yes, is the most responsible thing that any mother and father can do for their children to make sure that there's food sufficiency in the house.
That's right.
Any house that does not have adequate food, that house is not a balanced house. It will not be well with that house. The children will be out looking for food to other places. But if the parents provide sufficient food, the children will be healthy and the children will grow up knowing the importance of holding the house together. Liberia has a fundamental problem. The few things that make Liberia a nation is the Liberian flag, the Liberian national anthem, the Liberian Lone Star to some extent, the executive mansion. Apart from these 14 that I just listed, and the Liberian way of speaking, our colloquial. Apart from that, we really don't have a tangible institution. We do not have the existence of an organization like Red Cross that if a disaster strike, Liberia as a nation, we do not have a reserve in any capacity. A reserve in any capacity, we don't have it. And we don't even have, let's say, 50,000 bags of rice to say in case there is a world crisis, the president of Liberia will direct the rescue committee to access 50,000 bags of rice to say we're going to send it to the affected area. We do not have national reserve. We don't even have what to eat daily as a nation. And for the past 20 years, government has come and go because I just don't want to say the current government. I will always say the past 20-year government because Liberia has been in
You are
existence.
talking about 177 years.
That's right.
Government upon government, Yeah.
And none of these governments have established national reserve, national identity in fuel oil, in food, in medicine, in any way, form, or shape. And as we speak today, this current government do not allocate for stockpile of any item that Liberia name. So this what comes to this question. We say we are independent. The question here is independent from what? Independent from who? And where are we going with this independence? Are we just settled to be a nation that physically is not occupied by armed men and women of different nationality? But if you ask me, Liberia is not independent because economically we are not independent. Economically, we are not dependent. Educationally, we are not independent. Our textbooks are not domesticated. They took away service from the school that could teach the people, the youth, what the nation is about, how the nation was established. Service were out of school, while spelling is in school. So we are educationally, we are not dependent. So we are not dependent. Let me just land on this. When I say economically, we are not dependent because the former president of Ghana, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, said, he said, political freedom without economic freedom, Ghana is useless. And if you look in Ghana, Liberia today, and I thank God for the Lebanese because when autopods came, when they war came, the Lebanese souls were able to save a lot of Liberians. So I'm not here to say I'm against the Lebanese, I'm against the Indian, and the many Africans that are invested in Liberia. I do not have anything against them. I love them all. But what I'm not saying is that Liberia being independent, because I've gone to Ghana and I live there. And I see that Ghana, to larger extent, they own their market. But if you put it on a scale, right now, other Africans have more economic power in Liberia than actual Liberians.
Hmm.
So we are not independent. We are a nation that is subjugated by our government and hand our national resources to foreigners.
Hmm.
So we are not independent, not because a military force is not restricting our movement, because mentally we are dependent.
Hmm.
So I will stop there, for the sake of conversation, and then we'll continue on because there are more to say about this country. That we are not independent.
Mr. Solomon, you heard
Solomon,
too,
yeah.
he said we're not independent.
We are
We are
not
thinking of
independent.
a way forward. He giving his analysis. What do you think about that? Do you want to comment on his statement before we move forward?
Well, I'm so sorry. Calls keep coming in, from Liberia and stuff like that. But again, I
I'm
don't know whether you
telling you.
people see me. Are you ready to see
Yeah,
me?
we can
Yes.
see you.
Okay, fine. So, the issue of independence, I don't know what perspective my learned brother is coming from. I don't know, but
Economic independent.
Yes.
okay,
Economic.
economic independence, and I would partially agree with my brother because if you look at our market today, if you look at our market, Liberia, it's being controlled by non-Liberians.
Hmm.
Most of our major imports that's been done in Liberia is done by non-Liberians. The Lebanese are running the shows, the Fulanese, the Nigerians are running the show. So how many, if you take a walk from down Broad Street, down to the waterside, Randall Street, all of these places, how many Liberia own shops
Hmm.
you will actually see? So I partially agree with him. Yes, we need to empower Liberia in that sector so that the banks themselves should be giving loans to Liberians so Liberians themselves can able to champion the
So
cause
what's
of
stopping us? What's stopping us? Because it has been reported that when people, especially Liberians, when they take money from the bank, they don't pay back. So what's stopping us from taking on that challenge, getting our own stores, and be in the competition, that kind of business competition with those that are already established.
Well, I think
Mhm.
I don't want to agree with that, with, with that belief, with that perception that if Liberians go to the banks and get money from the bank, they cannot pay. Before the bank gave you money, they should have a guarantor, right?
Collateral.
There are some
Yes.
collateral need to be paid. Then how come we are saying if Liberians take money from the bank, they won't pay? Let us stop that kind of.
Hmm.
That's
So
that.
you would,
That's right.
yeah, he will be
Yeah,
back.
that's right. You see, stereotypes go a long way, but truth stops short of many things.
Yeah.
The stereotype that Liberians are lazy, I would never agree to it. The stereotype that when Liberians take money from financial institutions, they do not repay back, I don't agree.
Hmm.
Show me the data. Show me the data. The last time that I heard that loans were available to Liberia, I think it was during the early Selig Johnson government when the European Union allegedly gave Liberia X amount of millions, about 19 or 20 million pounds, that were intended for small businesses.
Mhm.
There, it was the government official that shared the money among themselves and took the money, not the Liberian people. And we, the Liberian people, are waiting to see the full investigation into that loan that the European Union gave us for small business in Liberia. But every country, I know Liberia in the 1960s we had an open door policy. So the reason other national are flourishing in our country, we got to give it context. In the 1960s, we got open door policy of economic involvement. So this is what gave Liberia the most challenge the other African nation. Because, for example, in Ghana, if you are not Ghanaian, for you to establish a business in Ghana, you have to put down $1 million United States dollar. Yes, that's the criteria in non-Ghanaians. And we do not have such a policy in Liberia. Restriction in Liberia, we don't have it. So our government need to protect Liberian interests. It is our government failure, economic policy, the failure that is defeating Liberian in the competition. Because every great power must protect her citizen in economic practices. For example, the United States of America, I'm not doing comparison, but if you have to import any goods in this United States of America, and that ship was not built by an American, you got to pay extra import tariff on that ship because it's not an American build. So it gave American shipbuilder the incentive to build more ships because they know it is favorable on the economic war for other national to use American built ship to import goods in the United States. So I'm just using that as a case study of protecting the national. So the government of Liberia has not empowered Liberia as they should for Liberia to be visible in their own economy.
We are still looking at ways in which we can move Liberia forward, and we want to say happy 26th. This is Fortify City TV Roundtable. You can join the discussion. You can call us on WhatsApp on 952-201-9287. And so tell us how we can move, or how can we move this nation forward? What are some of the ways? Is it human development? What about healthcare? Now we want to come to healthcare. How can we move forward as it concerns healthcare? We want to start with Solomon.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Pastor Patient. Thank you, Mr. Toe. Healthcare is one of the cardinal sector in any country if the country needs to rise at a certain level. If you look at today, our healthcare delivery system, in post-war Liberia, it has been very, 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 very poor. We have a lot of mortality rates. We have malaria, which is one of the diseases that easily can be prevented and be managed. It is a higher, if you look at the trend report, the recent trend report by National Malaria Control of Liberia that was done in 2023. Malaria owes about 35.6% of deaths in under 5 and in pregnant women. That shows that the ratio, that shows that the average is on the increase. Some of the strategy we believe that central government can put into place. One, like I said, the budget. We need to increase the health budget. It is true, during Manasseh time, there were a lot of NGOs in the country that giving pool funds to health workers and try to subsidize government effort, to make sure that health workers get some stopping. It is not happening. All those NGOs, they have pulled out. Now, government building a lot of houses, they say the building facility. Facility is a building that is equipped with those necessary machines that you can use for evidence-based medicine. You cannot say you're building a facility and it doesn't have a power supply. medications. Look at the salaries of the health worker. You will see a health worker, a nurse making less than $200. Tell me how effective he or she going to be. So the government needs to prioritize. Like I said, American president, Barack Obama said, he said, show me your budget and I will tell you your priorities. The government, you cannot have 60 to 70% of our national budget that talks about reoccurring expenditures. So we need to embrace and engage the health sector, increase the budget first, make sure you increase salaries of health workers, make sure you partner with other international organizations that are going to bring in those necessary medications and materials that you need for the various health centers. And also you have to work in the public health sector. Because mind you, there's a common saying that if you do not prevent the disease, then you're going to find it difficult to cure it. So look at National Public Health Institute of Liberia. Look at what it is. Government need to prioritize it. Thank you.
Mr. Toh, can you respond to the health issues? How can we develop healthcare in Liberia? How can we improve upon what we already have? We can hear you. Okay, sorry. Okay, you unmuted.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So the healthcare of Liberia is in the dilapidated condition of shape. It is true, as my brother Solomon said, the government has not given it an adequate attention. And Brother Solomon, like a few years back, about 6 years ago, some well-known Liberians discussed the Liberian budget. And they posted it on Facebook. And then I watched their clip, their video. And they analyzed the budget of Liberia. And the budget was like about 94% recurrent expenditure. And I boosted that because I wanted people to know. So I even put it on Facebook, I boosted it. And I think about 20,000 plus people, saw it because I had an interest in it. 94% recurrent expenditure. So we need to, for us to have a good health care, we need to show love to ourselves. We need to realize as Liberians, nobody will do it for Liberia. 2006, when I was at the University of Liberia, there when Liberia and the China relationship was coming together, the Chinese government did a case study of the Chinese language at UL by then. We were about 18 students that participated in the introduction of the Chinese language to Liberian. So we were about 8 students that graduated after the 3 months class. And then when the Chinese ambassador came to UL campus, he gave a specific speech to us at the graduation. He looked at us and said, listen, nobody going to build a free port for you, Liberia. He said, no government going to build an airport for you, Liberia. He said, nobody going to build your health care or your education institution. He said, China, because of the thousands of children who gave birth to daily, he said the Chinese government had to accommodate thousands of classrooms monthly to be able to put Chinese citizens in school. He said we need to build additional health facilities monthly. for us to be able to help our people to have access to health care. So, and he said that, I listened to him. What is Liberia government doing about the
Hold on,
health
Mr.
needs of
Tool.
our people?
Hold on, Mr. Tool. We got a caller on the line. Hello, this is the roundtable. Your name and where you calling from?
This is Amos Anywar calling from Westchester.
You are welcome, Amos.
Thank you. I heard a discussion about what the way forward about Liberia 177 Independence Day. I want to make my point. The issue about Liberia, not the issue of resources, so got resources in the bonus. The issue of nationalism and love for country. You know, to have love for your country is to put your country first above all things. That's the way forward. Very much key. We have been blessed. God has blessed us so much. But it's the issue of loving your country. When you love your country, you put your country first. Then the issue of integrity. When you are a man, a leader, integrity, you want to leave a legacy. You want to do the right thing. Because you are defending your character. You don't want people to say, oh, your man is corrupt. And when they find out, you know you are corrupt. So loving for country. And know you should also be a man with integrity. We need integrity leadership. That when you are put to the office, you will do your best. You will not see the office job as a means of getting rich. But rather rendering service. It's not the issue of getting money. Look at the guy around the place like Gabon, Rwanda we're talking about. You see people today running to Rwanda. After they had that dirty war. Look at what I mean doing. He has transformed that country. Everybody wants to go to that country. In the first, one independent monitoring. They say they want independent. And say no. We're not going to have any independent, but when you say money to do a cleaning up. A cleaning of the city. Because when you have the independence, it's about what? And you know, people come there eat.
Yeah.
You know, I see a budget that you're raising, what people come and eat. But you know, why people are eating, all up in the slum, all up now you want to pay their rent, whatsoever.
I know, right? And only one group of people eating.
And one group of people eating. That's the problem.
Okay.
When we had this celebration, like even that blood don't have problem.
Okay, Amos, thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah. What are you talking? Yeah. He said we are not patriotic. I lost that color.
Yes.
Yeah. So you want to respond? We want to welcome Mr. Cannibal. Mr. Cannibal, you want to start with
That's
that?
right.
How are you, patient gentlemen? How you guys doing? And lady, yeah, the same to all of you. Happy 26th to all of you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks to you, brother.
Yes. One of the points that our caller made that is true today is the fact that Liberian people are not patriotic. The situation with Liberia is not resources, it's not money, because the whole of Africa is so rich. Africa is, more especially Liberia. Liberia is one of the richest territory in Africa. But why are we poor? Why the vast majority of Liberia is about 43,000 square miles in size, got its independence 1847. Everybody know that. But the key is why the vast majority of the people suffering. They're suffering because you got a lot of evil people from Liberia. They're witchcraft because they always look at themselves as somebody who want to do something. You think you went to school and this and that and the rest of it. People who educated can never depend on witchcraft. And that's why the Liberian people depend on more, especially the House of Representatives and the Senate. The House of Representatives and the Senate, they want killing that country. It has been like that from the day hell was a pup. And in order for us to get beyond that, we have to remove all of those those fiascos from the legislature and put real people who want to do something. There is no country on this planet Earth that will respect foreigner more than their own citizen. I said it before in Monrovia. I just said it recently in Monrovia when I was at ERBC. They put foreigner forward and they demean their own people. They had no respect for their own citizen. If you're not in their class, they don't have time for you. Liberia abandoned its own citizen. Do you know that a lot of Liberian people on the 26th day are in Dubai? People leaving Liberia because the government of the Republic of Liberia have failed the citizens of that country. And that's what we need to talk about on this 26th day. And I applaud you, patient, for calling all of us to try to discuss these issues. But the thing is, as to whether these people are going to listen to the point we're trying to make, or the conversation we're having going to fall on deaf ear. The only time these people are going to respect us is those of us who feel the way we feel, participate in a look at Bassa, Grand Bassa County. The people had a retreat. The Senate had a retreat. The question is, what was the retreat for? And where did the retreat, what fruit did the retreat bear? Nothing. The retreat did not do anything. They squandered the taxpayer money. They squandered thousands of dollars. They packet this money. And look, when you go to Bassa look like a PPM patient and my fellow panelists. The thing that is, we need to start thinking about how we can develop Liberia. President Kennedy said, and I will digress on this, let us ask for what we can do for our country and not what our country can do for us.
Thank you, Mr. Cannibal. So I believe that you are doing something right now, or you are planning to do something, right? Because Liberia, I mean, every one of us have to do something. So we'll come back to you. We are talking about the way forward. So if you're just joining us, this is the roundtable. You can call us on WhatsApp, or you can call us on, a regular direct number. And our number is 952-201-9287. 952-201-9287. That's the number to call to make your contribution. You can also text your comments. There are a couple of comments here we will look at. We lost that person. He's going to come back. Let me pull out one of the comments, then we can. Let me see. This person say, all this big book won't help us, man. He said, I can be ashamed to stay for Liberia, or mostly he's speaking Liberian English, and mostly to call the country age. He can be ashamed when he calling the country age. Because the age alone, when you call it, people expect, yeah. It's a small country like Liberia with just 5 million population, and we still underdeveloped with huge NRL. It's a shame to us all.
Natural resources.
Oh yeah, natural resources. Okay, it's a shame. What do you think about this comment? Is he right? Because when it comes to the rivers, water, we got a lot of it in that place. When it comes to the soil, our soil is rich, and when it comes to all the minerals, we got diamond, we got gold, we got iron ore, there's some other minerals that we don't know of.
Oxide, everything.
And then there's so much God has given. We can't call God name. We can't even blame God anymore, because He has given us everything we need. No wonder the scripture said God has given unto you everything that pertaining to life and godliness. He has given unto Liberia. That's how rich Liberia is. But why we are so poor? What's the way forward? Join the conversation and go ahead, Mr. Toe.
Yeah, I thought Brother Solomon was coming up. Brother Solomon, something on your chest?
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, let you go out. Okay, don't worry.
Yeah, go ahead, Brother Solomon.
Yeah. Actually, look, that's what I said, and I will say it again. That the first and foremost, way forward is to reform our constitution.
Mm-hmm.
Because we have a lot of people that are elected, the lawmakers, they are not in the interest of the people that even elected them. They are not in the interest. They go and they look at during the time of Malaseli, the 66 bogus agreement. You're talking about natural resources. Yes, what one of the person wrote in a live feed. I mean, he can be ashamed. It is true because we are celebrating 177 years of existence.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have actually pipe-borne water. Liberia is the only country in the sub-region that don't have a toll gate. Sierra Leone has a toll gate.
Mm-hmm.
You understand me?
Mm-hmm.
All those concessions that are in Liberia, it's like our people sold the localities that you found these concessions in. It's like our people sold sold the ordinary people to those companies. Beer Mountain,
Mm-hmm.
Firestone, go to where the tapots live. You will feel so bad. You understand? Beer Mountain, the Western Cluster. I think you heard that President Joseph Yuma Braka was putting hot on the functionaries of Western Cluster, where they are taking all the money from. The roads are terrible. So I just want to encourage that brother. He shouldn't feel bad. We need to come together. Like I said, we need to come together under one umbrella. Help to foster government effort. Help to champion the cause of the reformation of our constitution. Make sure those provisions are in the constitution that need to be amended. Those clauses that we think that is not in the interest of the ordinary people, we can work on it. First and foremost, then we will be able to hold leaders accountable for acts done while they were in office. Now, why is it that we cannot prosecute former leaders, past presidents? Because they might be relying on the immunity of the Constitution. So first of all, we need to work on this Constitution so that we can able to have a healthy legislature, we can able to have a vibrant judiciary, so that our people, that we can able to benefit. And lastly, I will digress on this. Again, I say, and I will say it again. Ghana, Achimota in Ghana, near Accra, it's not been built by central government. It's by the Ghanaians in the diaspora. Kigel in Nairobi, just not far from Jomo Kenyatta Airport overlooking, is built by Kenyans in the diaspora. If you go to Mountain Court in Sierra Leone, are built. So Liberians need to amalgamate and unite so that we can put money in the public sector, so that our people themselves can be empowered. Not to just be running from the diaspora to go for a job in Liberia after working for the time. You take the money, you come back here, you come buy her, and how will the country move forward?
So why has that become a trend? Because we have been seeing this for some time now. Every time people leave from the diaspora, they go there, they look for a job. When they are no longer working, they come back. Why is it so?
It is so because of the kind of presidents we have been having in post-war Liberia, or let's say from the day we even got our independence, right? We've been having because this kind of a belief that we have that we can put our cronies into positions. You understand? We can put our partisans, we can put people that we believe in this position, and forgetting to know that these people, they have shared loyalty. They have shared loyalty. They come to the diaspora, live all their life in the diaspora, have their children going to schools in the diaspora. How do you expect these people, after getting this lucrative position in Liberia, how do you expect for them to contribute to the developmental agenda of that country? How? We are not saying it's a bad thing to get jobs to people who are qualified for the job. No. The same thing happening in Ghana, the same thing happening in Nigeria, the same thing happening in Sierra Leone. But again, love for country, like Mr. Cannibal was saying, like the caller said earlier, like Mr. Toll, even you, Pastor Patient, love for country. That's what we need to have. We need to put government feet to the fire so that they can do the right thing. We need to reform our constitution, those clauses, those provisions that is not in the interest of the ordinary people. We need to work on it. That's why we are championing the cause. Again, we also, Liberians in the diaspora, have to come together, work together, and able to help government, buttress government effort so that the ordinary people in Liberia can be empowered. We can invest in the private sector, and then things can start moving in a way that we think it can move.
Okay, this person is responding to, you made reference to the reform of the Constitution, and they are responding to it. They said there was a time that George Weah visited, that citing, provisions of the Constitution, but people politicize the whole thing. So how can we do it better?
So thank you.
Like
there are some.
Yeah, go ahead.
You see, it is good for the sitting president to bring about certain clauses in the Constitution to talk about it being amended. But people say, well, politicians, because it is true. I love Weah. I don't hate him. In the past, I ran campaign for him, not this going election. So I say he's a human being, We do hold people to the standard of men, not gods. So the place he was coming from, people thought were politicians because they thought he would want to use the constitutional amendment reform to extend his presidential term. That's what people thought. But it is the duty of the government and the people to activate an intent about the Constitution and put it in writing that people can read their idea. Then if someone says it's about politicizing it, you can go and read what they have written, right? The document. So we have not seen the actual document he wanted to construct. So people were confused when the CDC-led government were talking about referenda. People are confused because what? There was very poor communication that was going on. But I wanted to buttress what my brother was saying about the Constitution. I have a little saying, which is every time we get in our vehicles and we put our key in the initial, or we press that button, or whatever technology that is on your car right now. But what I'm trying to say is when your car starts, fire ignite in that car. But because the automaker have that fire under control in the carburetor of the car, right? So the car is not on fire. So we ignite fire every time we start our vehicles. And we are happy that the vehicles start. But the automaker, I repeat, have the fire under control. So what I'm trying to say is that Liberians are not in control of their nation. Liberians are not in control about what goes on in their government. Liberians are powerless.
So, Besato, Griffiths, who is in control here?
The politicians are in control because they control the money and share the money among themselves.
When you talk about politicians, who are you talking about? The executive?
I'm talking about the House of Senate, Senate, the House of Representatives, and the executive. They are those that are in control because they receive the most money from the Liberian budget. The executive, the House of Representatives, and Senate, they are in control because they control the resources of Liberia. They sell our resources. For example, with all the good that Eddie did, she still gave our only free port away from Liberian government authority. Gave away. The only free port. And you might ask me 1,000 times, it's not right. Irrespective of the motive, America do not give her free port to any nation.
Thank you. So if
Yes,
we want to
thank
move
you.
forward, we should manage our own port.
Yes.
Yeah, Mr. Cannibal, welcome back.
Yeah, thank you so much, patient.
We're still discussing the way forward. How can we move forward? How can Liberia move forward?
The thing that is one of the things that my brother just said that I disagree with was the fact that Ellen did well. Ellen did not do well. Ellen was one of those people that destroyed Liberia economically. And then she turned around and gave the port away. There are lopsided agreement these people signed with foreign government that destroyed and decimate our country. More especially, I was just in Liberia a few time ago, patient. If you look at even my land, I got 250 acres of land in Grand Bassa County. The moment you cross St. John River, they decimated my family grave and everything. All my father's land. When I went there, the Chinese did that. I went there. I was furious about that because there is no justifiable reason for those people to do what they did to the land that the government doesn't own. Liberian government does not own land in Liberia. Let me just make this clear. They can use what they call eminent domain, which is a law on the book to make road to bring about development in Liberia. But the government was established after the fact when the indigenous owned our land before the Liberian government was established, because Liberia as a country was not even known as Liberia. It was called Green Coast. At that time, the indigenous already owned the land. So people who don't know these things, we have to educate some of them. The key there is they allow the Chinese under the WIA administration to go to Liberia to do the illegal mining, patient. All over Liberia, I think Joe Biden just put a stop to it a few time ago. But when you look at Liberia as a country, my brother talked about the port. Let's look at port, for example. You got the Harper Port in Maryland County. Then you got port in Grand Bassa County. The question there is, Freeport is not the only port there, but because of the inept behavior of the Liberian government, there are able-bodied men and women sitting in Liberia that have no job because they don't want to put into use to benefit the Liberian people. So it go back to the evil I was speaking about. The next thing is, when you look at Liberia was established on a corrupt motive. Liberia as a government, Liberian government was established as a corrupt entity, a corrupt system. Let's look at it from 1847 coming all the way to the Tubas and the Totma. President Totma and other people were corrupt. The system there deprived the indigenous so many things. More especially if you was a countryman, you could not be part of the Senate. And the House of Representatives, those things are things that happen, for which the government need to be overhauled. The government, it's not about resources, it's not about anything. But if you look at the citizen, that's sort of benefit. Liberia is about 4 million people, and we got more resources than the citizens. But if you look at Liberia, the suffering of the Liberian people, look at the schools. When you look at the legislature right now, Sir Joseph is building his own school, and this and that and the rest of it, that's conflict of interest. Go back to your constitution. A certain senator cannot open a school. I just use Sir Joseph as an example. But nobody can having her own foundation. These things, they are government employee. When you have left government according to your constitution, then you can engage into a non-profit organization. But the question is, what can they do for the government or the people of Liberia? Those various districts that you see representatives in, these people go and get paid at the behest of the people and don't do anything for the district. The next election cycle come around and they put the same people back into office, and no development in Liberia. Liberian people suffering, women and children are starving to death in Liberia where there is no job, no nothing, and the people are sitting on the money. Look what they did the other day.
So how we move forward, Mr. Cannibal? How do we move forward?
How do we
That's
move
what-
forward?
Yes.
We have to restructure Liberian government.
How do we do that?
We have to restructure Liberian government, number one. The legislature, let's look at the legislature, because the legislature are the people that are making law. Patient, if you look at when you and myself were young in Liberia, we had government schools that benefited the poor people. Where is the government school today? It's being substituted by foundation that Sir Joseph is building his own school. So is Sir Joseph building his own school? What the guy did from Nima Kante, Yerube had his own university, and if you are benefiting from the ill of the Liberian people, then what will happen to the poor people who are in the majority? These are things we have to look at, patient. Those things need to be overhauled in the country.
Okay.
So, my sister, let me just give a 1 minute contribution. That's what I said. Liberia, economically, we are not independent. What I said, and two, we are not in control of our country. We are not in control. Those are two things I want to establish. Economically, we are not independent. Two, we are not in control of our country nor our government. So I will give my brother Solomon, to talk.
Solomon, before you respond to that, this is what you made mention about Liberians in the diaspora, coming together to get involved into development. And now this is the comment that our viewer, one of our viewers wrote. He said, you talk about involvement of Liberian in the diaspora, but trust me, big brother, most people won't get involved because we don't support dual citizenship. Who's going to waste their hard-earned money where they don't have level rights or legal rights? So sorry for the typo. We need more of tech in our country because that's where the world is going. So you're saying that, you're saying too that a lot of things are wrong. Liberians will not support you. And he's talking about, but he making mistake in the whole text. But at the same time, where technology is important, you need to carry more computer, more training, more teaching over there. So I like this one.
I love it.
So let me quickly say to my younger brother out there, that's a very fine point he made. And actually, when I call on Liberians in the diaspora, we talk about former President Weah coming with the proponents of those 5 bullets concerning reformation, but the communication was not properly done, and the opposition at the time politicized it. That doesn't mean to say this government cannot do the same, right? Now, talking about Liberian going back to invest in their country, it got nothing to do with dual citizenship or what of you. I mean, our constitution gives as long as you're born in Liberia, and I overheard Representative Musa Hassan Bidete. He is also writing a bill, and very soon he's going to put it on the floor, concerning about children, Liberian who have their children abroad born there, and they should have the privilege to come back home and invest. But again, look, forget about whether our people were going to accept you or they are not going to accept you. I tell you now, Mr. Cannibal was actually talking about 250 acres of land in the Grand Bassa Belt. Now, if you go to Liberia today, if you go to the Maigibi Belt on the highway, most of those houses there have been built by people who selling cold water. Now, Liberians themselves now who are selling coconuts, the market women are in the market. They are saying now the best way they can move the country forward is when they have the lay money to go beat a dead block. You understand me? Liberia now, we are gravitating, to other countries in the sub-region. So if for any reason, me, you, and other person can come together and say, okay, look, we can go to Liberia and open a mineral water factory. We can go to Liberia and open a factory that will be producing slippers, Duraplats. Now, if you look at the billboard, those are fixing billboards now in Central Monrovia. So most of them, they are not Liberians. Are you saying that if we put ourselves together and go back home and invest in our country, people are going to say because of dual citizenship, brother. I just gave example. I exemplify what happened in Ghana. I talked about what happened in Sierra Leone, what happened in Ghana, what happened in Kenya. From my initial point, I said the way forward for Liberia is that we should work on our constitution. And we all agree here, there's some clauses in our constitution that need to be amended. That's number one. Number two, while we are working on that, we need to also help to buttress government effort. Mind you, Liberia government is the highest employer. And how much are they paying? $100, $50? How you expect the people to meet the standard for them to live the way they're supposed to live? But again, if we are going to invest, if we can go there to go look for jobs, then why is it we cannot go and spend our money there? Or to get the money from there and get the jobs and come back from the Manasselif days to now. 60 to 70% of those that hold in higher position in government came from the diaspora. And right after they leave the jobs, they run away to come back in the diaspora. How you expect a country to move forward? I talked about a book that was written by Samuel Jackson. Rich country, poor people. You understand me? The livelihood of our people is very, 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 very poor. So if we can come together, unite, and look outside the box and say, look, Liberia is all what we have. If we can work together and say, look, we will invest in the private sector, we help government, we're able to buttress government effort. Meanwhile, we also talking and discussing the constitution so that we can able to amend and reform some clauses in the constitution. But again, I will digress on this. Now, if we can go back to Liberia to look for assistant minister job, to look for director jobs, to look for chief of security jobs in Liberia, and Liberians are not complaining, we go there, we get the jobs, and come back, then we should also take the money there and invest in the private sector. Mind you, Liberia is the only country we have, and when we shall retire, we're going to return back to our country, and if we do not put it into place, who will do it for us? Thank you.
Amen.
Patient, if I may.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
You know, these conversations are very decent conversations, but yeah, the problem we have. I said it to you the last time, and I said it to few people in my family and friends. That if I was lucky, like Joe Biden got lucky to be president for Liberia today, the first thing I would build would be jails. I would build some of the best jails in Liberia to jail criminals who call themselves government officials in Liberia. That's the problem we're having. We don't have problem with citizenship. We don't have problem with people living in the diaspora who don't have money. They got a lot of people who, look at Singapore. You got a lot of people who came from Singapore, and the citizens of Singapore developed Singapore. But if you look at Singapore today, Singapore is one of the most remotest countries in the world, and Singapore is one of the most developed countries today. Liberia was existing before Rwanda had its war. The war ravaged the whole place. The whole place was destroyed. And today, Rwanda is one of the best countries in a place in Africa. The key there is not how many money we got here, or how can we leave from here and go to Liberia with all of the book that people learn in this country. Diaspora. I heard that long time, and most of the people that were put in office in Liberia are people who grew up in the diaspora and this and that and the rest of it from the diaspora. But if you look at Liberia look like a pea pen. My thing here is this: build jails and jail these criminals. Jail those criminals because Liberian people are criminals. You understand?
The officials.
You can amend the constitution from now to judgment day.
Mr. Cannibal, you have to be very specific,
right?
So we can know, because you can't say Liberians are criminals. No, that means all of us on this platform.
Patient, what I'm trying to tell you, I'm talking about government officials.
Okay.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about government official, patient.
Yes.
These people, look at the legislature. Look at the legislature. The legislature is killing Liberia because all they're doing there, They are getting paid for nothing and doing nothing. You show me what bill they have passed that benefited the Liberian citizenry. Zero. They have passed no bill that benefited the Liberian people as a country or as a people. Zero. I'm not talking about you peace-loving people. I'm not talking about peace-loving Liberians. I'm talking about people who get into the government and they steal money. Look, patient, you yourself here, if you left from here today and went to Liberia to say, well, you wanted to work in the government, everybody will be happy. Patient got a job. The president appointed patient, she got a job. Guess what your office boy or your office girl will tell you? Oh, the Omar come here to change things. The Omar come from America, she want to change things. We're going to see. The next thing, the office boy, the office girl will come to you and tell you, patient, that's not the way we do things here. That's not the way we do things here. And that not the way we do things here is what spoiling the not the way we do things here, the one spoiling Liberia that had destroyed Liberia and continue to destroy Liberia. Let me tell you, because you know why? When you got police taking bribe, you got every 7 or government officials in Liberia taking bribe. Then that place is not place to work. You understand? And that's the point I'm trying to make here. Corruption is what got Liberia that is plaguing Liberia. Look at George Weah. The Liberian people, when George Weah government was in place, they took Nathaniel McGill and made Nathaniel McGill senator now for McGill County because of his dirty deals. The kind of criminality they brought to Liberia, that's why made him senator in McGill County. And you got more there. Bill Twawe. I could go on. They slew of government officials in Liberia who are corrupt. That's what I'm talking about, patient.
Thank you.
Yeah, so patient, got something there. Let me respond to that.
Yeah.
So what I was trying to say is that we the Liberians, our way forward, we need to begin to trust one another. And this is the mindset that I have. Any Liberian that I see, I talk to, I never ask a Liberian what tribe they belongs to. I never ask a Liberian what county they are from. I don't. And the simple reason is that the fact that you identify yourself as a Liberian, that is enough for me. That you are my fellow countryman, a fellow countrywoman. Because I want us to be united. We're talking about way forward. We Liberians need to erase the tribal line. Let's have our cultural values. I'm a grateful person. Let me identify myself now. I love my war dance. I love my pan butter. Nobody going to say, Gropo, y'all start doing your war dance. Y'all start doing your women dance. And y'all start eating plenty pan butter. Nobody will ask us from doing that. I want the identity to be there. I want the environment to be able to wear that nice shirt. That some black out wear sometimes. I love those vibes. When I go to Liberia, I need to get one of those vibe shirts, right? I love that. Let us embrace each other. And we all, I don't know we all, but me, I love GB. You see that? I've never seen a Liberian that somebody will say GB here, and they say, oh, what come here? I want a GB here. I yet to see a Liberian. I love GB. Every day and night, you give me GB, I will wash my hair, and I will tell God, thank you. Because that's a great dedication from Nima County. So, my fellow Liberians, on this great Independence Day, I want us to go beyond our tribal line, not forgetting our tribal heritage. But also, let us know that we are in one boat, one ship, one aeroplane, one car, or one bicycle, one motorcycle, one wheelbarrow, whatever you might call it. We are sailing as a unit. I want us to begin to love one another. I want to begin to respect one another. I want to begin to embrace one another. And those stereotypes that, oh, Gilman will never be president, Crime may not be president, Matthew may not be president, and the other tribe, but whatever. I want us to come together to stop this stereotype. I want us to look beyond. If we have anything in our past to talk about as a people, as a nation, I want us to have committing. I want to organize. I want to come create a forum, a platform like our sister Patient creating here. I want to come and discuss those things that will not permit some people to get along. I want us to put that bitterness aside on this day. I want to lower in ourselves and develop some sense of patriotism for this country. Because we love this country. I love Liberia. I'm in America, but I love Liberia. Even in America, whatever document, I put that, they say, where you come from? I put that Liberia. They will not forget where you come from. So my fellow Liberians across the land that were listening to me, I want us to begin not forgetting our tribal heritage, the values, the things that we are proud of. I want us to begin one another. Just like when Lone Star is playing. When we say we are up in the Diba close, let us begin to jubilate. Let us begin to move ourselves around the national identity. Because we have a lot of advantages going forward. If you talk about development, as everyone has said on this forum, is that we are too rich to be poor. Also, make a country to faster is the country. As my brother said, we are better 5 million people in Liberia. We are better 5 million. So, as a person that knows a little bit about economics, moving Liberia for the next 5 to 10 years is very simple. All you need to do, let Liberians wake up and try to employ Liberians. If 2 million Liberians can work, and those 2 million Liberians each can get $20 United States tax to the country every month. $20 United States every month. By the time they reach 12 months, the 2 million Liberian contribution to the Liberian budget, it will become immensely great. In a minute, I will stop the analogy. You know, people say America is great, but for me, I know economics to some extent. I look at the American budget, the federal government precisely. The expected budget of the federal government of the United States of America, they depend on the small people paycheck. The small paycheck in America. That's why the federal government get all these billions of dollars from to function this country. The corporate tax in America is a fraction of the margin as compared to individual tax roll. Now, while Liberia is now in taxation, there where America was at the beginning of America. Because when the beginning of this nation, only corporations were paying taxes. And property owners were paying taxes. But the government of America realized that taxing corporations heavily will make job creation stagnated. Therefore, they move away from that and now individual taxes. So now, Liberia most of the taxes that are in Liberia are coming from corporations, are coming from factories. So it's time, if Liberia wants to shape her destiny, for Liberia to begin to employ Liberians. For us to be able to have a goal to employ about 2 million Liberians that will be paid taxes to the Liberian government. Then our leader will not be backing foreign country, foreign people. Then we'll be able to stand on our 2 feet. So we can solve our own problem by employing ourselves. So I was stand right there for my brethren and sisters to continue it. It's
Okay.
employment, way forward. It's employment. That's what I'm
Yeah.
trying to say.
Thank you, thank you, Mr. Griffiths. We lost you there for a little bit, Solomon.
Yeah.
He was talking about the way forward. He was talking about employment. He was talking about taxes. You want to make comment on that before we start taking our closing comments?
Well, yes, and I will continue to say this, and I will not mince my words on it. It is the bitter truth, but we just need to say it. We understand that government is lacking in many areas. That's why we are holding their feet to the fire. That is why we are calling so that we can able to champion the cause for some of those clauses that are in our constitution to be reformed. I overheard Mr. Cannibal talking about opening a lot of cells and jails. Yes, yes, it is good. It can only be enforced when we have the laws on the book that are actually being discussed and then amended so that it will make you to be vibrant enough to do what you want to do. Again, as it relates to business and economy in our country today, there are a lot of like I said earlier, non-Liberians are the ones that are championing business in our country. Small businesses, large scale businesses. You go see the Fulanese, go see the Nigerians, go see the Lebanese. All of the most of the big hotels and resorts and restaurants and places are owned by non-Liberians. And the issue about the taxes. No, I think we know about the 41 Liberia businesses. Mr. Cannibal, 41 or what President Doe talk about that Liberians need to do by themselves?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, okay. For today, we see Liberians are not into these businesses. You see, the Chinese are money say, not Liberians are money say. People selling ice block. Can you imagine that? No Liberians selling ice block. So no. So
My
we
brother,
need to.
what a shame that Chinese men will still send Liberia. Continue, please.
So yeah, so let me just stop here to say actually we need to take over our business in Liberia. Again, Liberians in the diaspora, if people can go back home to say they want to run for elections, if then we can say we'll go back home to get involved and work for government. We can also go back home to work together, put money into the private sector, empower Liberians that are out there, and work on our constitution and able to hold government feet to the fire so that some of these taxes can be reduced on Liberian importation, so that our business people can be empowered. If you go to the various markets, places, you see our women there, they need to be empowered. Our market women, right, need to be given some loan, micro loan. We know back in the days, former governor of Central Bank, Mr. Jones, Mill Jones, he used to give some money to the market women, right, micro loans. Right, some people in Liberia want to do the business, but how will they go to the bank? They don't have that collateral. You understand me? So now, if you have another Liberian and live in a community, you can be a help. You understand? So that's what I say. We need to take over our own businesses, because if we do not do that, we'll continue to complain. We'll continue to complain. The non-Liberian will continue to take over that country. Okay? If we only do talking, it will not help Liberia. We need to put our money where our mouth is. And you understand me? And so if people say they're going back home to be assistant minister, directors, or to run for representative or senatorial position, then if you can go back for the people to vote for you, then why you can't carry your money there for the OP businesses and OP factory? And you understand me?
Serious. Yeah. Okay, so we are closing. We want to take your closing comments. We're going to start from Mr. Toh.
Yes, so with closing comment, I dare the Liberian government on taxation. In this government, I dare them to introduce electronic payment system throughout Liberia. Because through electronic payment system, all the small businesses will begin to pay the adequate taxes to government. I love this government. I want them to succeed. But if businesses in Liberia are not paying their fair share of taxes, right? The government of Liberia will not get money to take care of the hospital, the schools, the roads, social services. So, in as much as we say everything, I dare the government. The reason I say I dare them is because some of them going behind the door to collect some money indirectly and the government not receiving it. So when I say I dare them, let them love this country and increase electronic payment system that will guarantee higher revenue. I'm not saying increase the taxes, oh. The ones that are on the table, I say through electronic tax collection, right? The government will get most of their money today and tomorrow if they can implement that. So the government really want to change something. Just like Nyamabwaka, electronic payment system should be made available to every single store, hotel, and major business that is registered in Liberia. It should be a criteria so that even when you're paying with cash, they should scan those things so that it can go through. Even with cash payment, the electronic system can still work. So I'm not saying also Liberian that get a care will not know. Scan barcode technology has advanced. And in Liberia, we can obtain that. That's what I'm trying to say. So when we can start from here, we'll get taxes. And when we get those taxes, we'll be able to take care of ourselves. Please, let's
Thank
do
you.
that. That one of that day I have the government for. Let them
Thank
start
you.
it. If they really want to
Introducing.
develop Liberia, introduce it, yes. I know
Yes.
in some hotel, in some high places, yeah, they share gas station. I know in some places, but let them move it forward to
Mhm.
most of the store. That's what I'm trying to say. So I'm not saying it's not in Liberia. It's there, but it's very limited. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Mhm.
Uh,
You're welcome.
Salome, you want to close? Your
Yes.
closing comment? Yeah.
Thank you very much. Today, we talk about a lot of things. We highlighted the educational sector. We highlighted the agricultural sector. We also highlighted the health sector. We also discussed the way forward for our country after 177 years. We also talk about the Constitution. There are clauses in the Constitution that we need to continue
Mhm.
to talk about and able to come up with recommendations so that at least our people can be checkmate and they be accountable
Mhm.
for things they did when they were in power. And also
Mhm.
we talk about Liberians living in the diaspora to also unite our market, put our money to where our mouth is. With that, we think our country can move forward. We should continue to speak truth to power and be able to work on the social justice system of our country. Mind you, we have the social contract theory. We have this theory to be able to be put into place. And who can do that? It is the people. Article 1 of the Constitution say the power is inherent in the people. Mind you, we have the power. The people of the country have the
Mhm.
power. They themselves need to realize and come together and say, look, we need to discuss this thing. We need to discuss it. We are the one that put in the people. We are the employer. Let us discuss how best we can amend our constitution. We can able to make the proposal. So
Mhm.
thank you very much. Today was a wonderful one. Thank you, Pastor Patient. Let us keep championing the cause and be able to discuss about the amend and the reformation of our constitution. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you, my brother.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank
One
you.
thing we did not make comment on was the speech by the orator of the Independence Day program. So, do you want to make a comment on it before we close, or we'll just take it for next day?
Let's take it next. I have not listened to it, so I don't want to
Yes,
prolong the stuff. We can
that's true.
digest it another day.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for joining us. And we want to say, stay tuned for another program right here on the roundtable, another discussion. And we look forward to all your comments, and your opinion matters. So give us, keep sending all those comments. We want to read them. Thank you. This has been the roundtable, and I'm your host, Pastor Patience. God bless you. Have a wonderful, wonderful 26. Eat all the goodies. Don't forget to send mine. Send it on the
That's
internet. I'll be
right.
waiting for it. My 26 or you.
Amazon can deliver it one day in 2 hours.
That's true.